Here in a busy Vancouver today, we've got lots of festivals on. It is summertime, the skies are blue, we've got bright sunshine, got a jazz band going in the background there because there's a jazz festival on today. Now that's a perfect time to do street photography, so that's what I've came out to do. I've said to you in the past, when you get the harsh light in the summertime, it doesn't make for great landscape photography, so that's why I wanted to make the most of this bright conditions. Now the last couple of weeks it has really been hot. I have been out with the camera and I've been taking images. I haven't done any video. Sometimes it's just nice to have a wander with no pressure of doing video or anything like that and just enjoy the moment. Now because we've got these festivals on and we've got a lot of tourists here in Vancouver, that means we're going to get a lot of interesting people, and that's what I'm going for today. Now I've brought two focal lengths out with us today, two prime lenses. I brought the 85mm and I brought the 35mm. Great focal lengths. You know, if I want to include more of the scene with the subject in it, I can use a 35. If I want to get in nice and close, I can use the 85. So because we've got that harsh light today, it really makes for good conditions for doing street. You know, I love my black and white. I prefer black and white over colour. So you've got them really contrasty scenes, you've got nice shadows, you've got those bright highlights, and that's what I look for. I just look for where the light is, where the subject's sitting in that light, and try and build up a composition around that light. Very similar to landscape photography. You know, I've showed you in the past where you're concentrating on the subject and you're trying to simplify the image. I do pretty much the same with my street photography. Try and single subjects out and try and look for leading lines at the same time. So I'm just going to continue my walk today, looking forward to seeing what we can capture. I'll show you some of the images that I've captured over the last couple of weeks when I've just been out for the general wander with the camera, and here's to a good day. So the first shot I want to go for today, there's an older guy who's really grabbed my interest. He's got some patchwork pants on, he's got a nice grey beard, and he's really standing out at the moment because of how and where the light's coming in. The light's illuminating his face and his upper part of his body. Now I've said to you in the past about you don't have to put the camera in people's face to get the shot. All you have to do is look for other ways around that. Now the other way around it is, I've noticed the seating area where he's sitting, there's a seating area directly opposite, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down there for 5 minutes and I'm simply going to turn to the side. I'm going to line up a shot and get an image of him, and that's another way of getting those shots. Now I've said to you loads of times before, if you're uncomfortable with street photography and really want to give it a go to places like this, marketplaces, events, especially when the sun's shining like this, and it doesn't make for great landscape photography. So I'm going to get back, get this shot, and I hope you like it. So I tried for that shot with the guy sitting on the bench. I'm not sure what he was making, but he was really interesting, and that's what attracted us. And that's what attracts us when I'm doing street. I'm not looking for just any subjects. They've got to be interesting and have a bit of character, and he certainly did. I just sat alongside him, didn't shove the camera in his face. He did look and see that I was taking a photograph, but I struck up a conversation. He was dead pleasant, so I just simply told him to carry on with what he was doing, and I grabbed a couple of images. So that's another way of getting those shots. Just be happy and smile, strike up a conversation, and then later in the conversation ask if you can take the picture. There's always a workaround getting those shots, and hopefully you can see that in the videos that I bring to my channel. And it's always nice to bring something different to my channel rather than just landscape photography all the time. So it's nice to show you a bit of variation. So I'm going to have a good walk about today and see what these events are like. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting people to photograph. Being able to do my one-to-one workshops, it's going to be a great way of showing you how I go about getting the images a lot more. Because when you're doing video, it is really hard because it's reactive photography with street photography. It's hard to show the exact process of capturing those images because it really is going to be different to watching my videos. I'm going to be able to show you techniques that I use to get images and just have a good day out. And it's always great to get out and do photography with other people, and especially if you haven't done street before, it's really going to help with your confidence, being able to walk around together, and I can show you how to work around getting those shots that you didn't think you could get. So I've came to the other side of the street across from the art museum there. Everything seems to have quietened down for the time being, and I'm just walking along the sidewalk here. I've noticed an interesting guy and his dog at the corner of the street here. Now, I was actually sitting having a coffee in front of this hotel. I want to try and capture an image of him because he's interesting. He's got an interesting hat on. One of his legs is all tattooed and he's got it crossed over so it really stands out. And then you've also got the dog, boxer dog I think it is, sitting in the foreground there. So I'm going to use the side of the building because it's a lot lighter. It's really standing out against the building and just capturing an image. It's probably going to be a black and white. Now I don't have to worry about harsh light in there. Where he's sitting, it's all shaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get opposite him on the sidewalk, look up the street, dial in my settings. I've said to you that in the past. Make out that I'm photographing something of interest further up the street, but actually what I'm wanting to get a photograph of him. So I'll concentrate and I'll watch out the side of my eye while I'm looking up the street, and then I'll just simply turn round and get the shot, and it'll be as quick as that, and hopefully I'll be able to capture the image before he actually moves. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to head up to the end of the street now before he finishes his coffee and takes off, and see if we can capture an image. So I'll get back, get this shot, and I hope you like it. So I've moved away from the other side. It was great listening to the jazz. There was plenty going on in that area and plenty of people. So it's really exciting when you get situations like that where you've got a lot of crowded people and you can just single subjects out interesting people. Photograph that guy with the hat. He was nicely, smartly dressed. So that's the type of thing that I've came for. Now I've came to a location where I've been in the past. I've came to these steps. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link above. But in front of us I've got a girl, she's sitting on the phone, and there's some lovely light and leading lines where she's sitting, so that's what I want to capture. I'm going to get nice and low, get on eye level with the girl herself and capture an image. That's it, it's just great. There's so much going on and so many images to capture. I'm going to make the most of it. So I'm going to get back and get this shot of the girl sitting on the steps before she moves, and then we'll move on to other areas and see what else I can come across. So I hope you could see in the images I took at the seating area how I was working with the light and those shadows, and along with the light and the shadows that creates shapes on the floor, on the sidewalk itself, and I was simply looking to place subjects within that light. I got the guy sitting down at the seating area, I got higher up, I got above, and I was interested in the formations, the vertical lines, the horizontals, the dark shadows, the light, and then I simply placed that subject within those areas of light and shadows, and it makes for an interesting shot. I've said to you in the past, you don't always have to have the subject's face in the shot itself. It makes it interesting if the subject's facing away or you just can't quite see the face. So that's a good starting point when you're doing street photography. If you don't want to capture the subject walking towards you or looking directly at you, go for shots where you're behind the subject, and that's another way of capturing images. Always be aware of your light and your shadows. Light attracts, and it's very similar to doing landscape photography. I always go to where the light is and I work around that light. So in street photography it works pretty much the same. I'm going to try and single subjects out and see if I can capture some images, and we'll get on and enjoy the rest of the day. came here a bit further into downtown, and I've came to a location that I like to come to a lot because it's rustic. There's lots of characters around this area. I've came to Gastown, but it is later in the day now. It's early afternoon. It's getting really hot, and I've decided to call it an end to today's video. Now, every street photography vlog for me always ends up with a pint of Guinness, so I'm going to go to my favourite bar across the street there called the Smiths. It's a great Irish bar. So if you can take anything away from today's video, keep smiling, be confident. That's the main thing with doing street. You've got to be confident, and that's what I'm going to be able to show you in my one-to-one workshops. Now, doing video, it's easy enough to do the video, but to show you actually how I go about getting the shots, it doesn't come across in my videos, and that's why workshops are a helping hand, and they really help you with your confidence, because you can watch us and you can see, and I can show you how I go about getting those shots. Different techniques work for different situations. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, let us know your thoughts on street photography. If you're interested in doing a workshop with us, doing a one-to-one, and I'll take you around the city of Vancouver, head over to my website, brybarnham.com. Check out my images, check out the information on my workshops, and then just simply get in touch. But for now, from here on the streets of downtown Vancouver, thanks for watching. Bye bye.